Hello, everyone. Welcome to Financeology 101. Class is now in session. The information provided during this podcast is just that, information. You will need to do further research to address your specific situation. Enjoy the session. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another live session of Gifted Generations Presents Financeology 101. I'm one of your hosts, Robin Seegers, and the other host is
Elroy Seegers.
So, first of all, Happy New Year. I pray
Happy.
everyone had a wonderful and safe holiday. And as we always do, the first podcast of the year is time for reflection. Reflection on how well did you do with your financial planning last year? Did you even have a plan? Did you stick to your plan? Did you adjust your plan? So we just wanted to touch base this first podcast of 2025, just to say it's time to refocus.
Yes, it's reflect, refocus, realize your financial review. This is only the first part, and so you see a lot of books. You hear a lot of people talking about budget this time of year, spending this time of year, going to the gym. It's like a reset for all those kind of things. And finances is one of those things that we try to reset at the beginning of the year. I don't like to say reset, to be honest with you. I like to say continue, because resets mean I'm starting all over again. If you continue it year after year after year, then what you established last year will be able to carry on this year. So when I say reset, basically because people have actually blown the budget, everything they had planned out. They kind of like went out the window. Right. And typically, what happens is because of Christmas. It's always Christmas. And what's after Christmas in February? It's Valentine. Right. 2 back-to-back. Big ones because of the money being spent this time of year, and the recovery period is very short. I say recovery period because we go so bad on Christmas, we don't have time to recover for the Valentine's Day, and we tend to go deeper in the hole. So money can be a stressor.
Yes. And like Roy said, a lot of us make resolutions this time of year. And a lot of us don't stick to it come February 1st. So,
Yep.
So like he said, this is a time for reflection and refocus. We're not going to say a restart. Just reflect and refocus on what did you do last year to help your financial picture.
Yep.
What worked, what didn't work.
It's kind of like taking an inventory.
Right. Taking a financial checkup, a financial assessment.
Yeah. And a lot of times we don't want to do that because it gives us a true picture of how bad a situation look. People who do this kind of assessment is because they know their situation look great.
Right.
And people who don't look at it because they're afraid they have a wake up call saying, I went kind of in. I don't want to see how bad the damage is. But you got to see how bad the damage is or how well you did in order to establish the next phase of your financial saving, because you're moving towards a goal in life, and the goal in life should be like, hey, what can I do when you say, oh, I'm kind of young. I'm only 30 years old. So why am I thinking about retirement? Because you got to set those standards now so that you can maintain them for the next 20, 30 years. Mm-hmm. You can't just live for the now. You got to be able to plan kids, college, all those things. Like I always tell people, if you spent that much money now, when you go into retirement, are you going to be able to do the exact same thing then? What is your assessment for looking at down the road? So look at it like a runner. They always say, if you are even a cyclist, if you're dehydrated and you want that water, it's too late because you're dehydrated. Your finances is the exact same thing. If you are already at that negative number, that zero, it's kind of like too late in the sense of, hey, I can't go out and do those big things now because I didn't do that planning earlier. So it's too late to say I'm putting more on a credit card. You can, but that's going to be more detrimental to your financial state of mind. So, and also your budget. So you got to say, I don't want to dehydrate. I don't want to pull everything out of my money, out of my resources, and do bad planning because I am drying up my finances.
Yes.
Everything is like at the bottom of the barrel.
Right.
So if you plan, have an emergency budget, if you have a Christmas budget, even a Thanksgiving budget, because we spend money on Thanksgiving too, because you travel, a traveling budget. If you plan with those things, you're not going to dry up the well when it comes to your finances. It's just always something you can tap into. And a lot of times we tap into a dry well, and it's just more dry well.
Right.
And what do we do
Right.
then? We go for loans, we ask friends.
Right.
So you're digging a bigger
The
hole.
hole deeper.
So what did we do last year? We want to avoid this year. Did I borrow too much money? Did I spend too much credit card?
Right.
Did I pay off credit cards? Do I want to continue that like I did? Did I close accounts? Did I open up accounts? That's an assessment we're talking about. Take an inventory of what you did and what you did great. Continue it. What you did, like, I need to make some changes. Make some changes. But only you can sit down and make those changes. You got to realize what you're doing. A lot of great books. We say, oh, these are self-help books. But the key word is self-help. You got to help yourself in order to make these changes. We have accountability partners. But that partner's not going to do you any good if you're not listening to that person.
Right.
You not know that firsthand.
Yes.
Somebody was keeping accountable. They didn't follow instructions, and what happened? Fell completely off the wagon. Now they're in recovery state.
Right.
That's that dry well, y'all.
Yeah. And they're panicking.
And that's a bad feeling.
Because they dug a hole so deep that now they're panicking. They're trying to fix everything.
It's a bad feeling because now you robbing Peter to pay Paul. You're borrowing from friends. I pay you back. And wow. Right. How you going to pay somebody back and you're already at zero?
Right. Right. You're negative.
Yeah.
You're in the negative.
Yeah.
Right. So did you have a plan? Did you write down your plan? A lot of people think they can follow it just because it's in their mind. It doesn't work like that. Because you know how we like sometimes I come downstairs and I'm coming downstairs to get something. I get at the bottom of the stairs and I'm like, why did I come down here? Out of sight, out of mind. That quick, gone.
Yep.
So you have to write down your plan. And some people are visual. I'm a visual person. So a vision board, a financial vision board. If you're an IT person or a techie and you like spreadsheets, use a spreadsheet. If, we have a financial tracking app that's in Android, and we're working on soon for the Apple version called Bags of Money. It's designed to help you track your money. Track your income and your expenses. So go out there to Android and download and try Bags of Money. You can try for 30 days free. And the subscription is only $1 and some change a month.
Yep.
You can use that tool. And if you don't want to use any paper and pen, you have to write it down. Don't go by what's in your mind. Write it down. That way it's in front of you and you can make the adjustments as needed. And don't beat yourself up. Have grace. Don't beat yourself up when you fall short of something or you mess up something. A lot of times we fall short and we just give up. If we fall short 2-3 times, we just give up. No, you're going to fall short. Plan on falling short every now and then. That way you have that grace that you can get back up on that, on the wagon and keep going.
Maybe you need to challenge yourself too. And when I say challenge yourself, I don't mean long-term challenges because we tend to suffer upon ourselves because we don't see the great gains when we see those things we're trying to achieve. So maybe you need to make small things that you can challenge yourself with. This month, I'm going to save $50.
Small, big steps.
This week, I'm not going to go and have coffee that costs me $8 per cup. Right? You don't realize restraining from doing things actually put more money in your pocket. I'm not going to do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to look at my membership as far as things that I'm subscribing to. Maybe I want to downplay all these different subscriptions. Y'all know they got all these subscriptions in order to watch anything. Before you know it, you got 10 subscriptions plus internet. You're paying $300 and some dollars. So what can you eliminate to save that $5? Put that in the bucket somewhere. Put that in the bank account. And that doesn't sound like much. But it adds up.
It does.
It adds up.
It does.
So you got to start saying, what can I change? What can I rid of? What can I add to my new habits and get rid of some things that I no longer need? And a
Right.
lot of times, subscriptions is the best thing to look at
Mhm.
before you make any
Mhm.
changes. You know what I'm saying? We always say put that $5 into emergency fund. It's five less dollars you're gonna need when an emergency pops up.
Right. Right.
What can you do to make 2025 better than 2024? What can you change to pull yourself out or to raise where you are to be that much better?
Right.
What I typically do. I was talking to somebody. It was like, "Yeah, Roy, I want to change this year." What you want to change? Well, I don't know. Well, you got to know what you want to change. So I say, take an assessment with the things you want to change, and don't make the list so big you can't achieve any of it.
Right.
But you can write those things down. I used to love when we had the house. We used to write down everything we want to do to the house, and it was a long list. Then we prioritized those things we wanted to fix, either by the cost or if it was quick to get done.
Right.
So we had to figure out, oh, this is a low cost, but it's going to take a long time to do it. Or this is a high cost, but it's going to be a short time. So we had to figure out what we wanted to do and we came up with an appropriate list and we prioritized those things. And we just knocked them off one thing at a time. So you do got to write those things down.
You do. You do.
But don't get so stressed out like, wow, I got 50 things on this list. I can't do all these things. Prioritize. It's the same thing with credit cards. You prioritize which one you want to get rid of first. It's like the same thing. I want to get rid of this high interest, and there's different ways there's so many different ways when you're doing debt pay down, snowball debt, the highest interest rate, the highest amount. So there is no set rule because there's so many things you hear out there.
Mm-hmm.
What I do, I attack the one with the lowest balance first, the amount of interest rate, because that's just more money I can put towards something else. People say, "Oh, I do the highest interest rate." Well, yeah, that's fine, but there may be a $10,000 debt on that interest rate. So that rate. So now it's going to take you that much longer to pay off that car. Right. So I was like, "What can I eliminate so to make me feel good?"
Right, because it does feel good. It's a feeling thing.
Yeah, it is. And once that's done, guess what? Now I got $25 more in my pocket to pay, or to put not in my pocket to put on another bill.
Right, and start paying off that bill.
Yeah, so there have to be approaches. There have to be things that you actually look at and want to alter and change.
Because that's the next step, realistic goals. After you do a financial assessment of where you are, there's setting realistic goals. And why we saying realistic? Because you want to take small chunks. And you want to celebrate. You want to do your touchdown dance where you meet that one goal.
Yep.
That's one thing our pastor teaches us, is that when you looking to achieve something, celebrate the small steps that you're making. Don't wait till the end and then celebrate. No, it feels much better when you can celebrate the small steps, the baby steps. And it feels good to see that you're working on that list. I don't care if that list is 20 items long. You check it off. Oh, that feels so good. It's gratifying. Then you check off the next one. That's gratifying.
It is.
It feels good to know that you're working towards something.
Right. What you got over there? You got some information, right? What you got over there?
Okay, so I said, like I said, do a vision board or use a tracking tool like our app, Bags of Money, or a spreadsheet, or just like I said, paper and pen. Write it down so you can see it. Don't leave your budget up to chance. We're going to say financial plan. Don't leave your financial plan up to chance. You're just going to say, I'm going to throw up the cards and let them fall and let's see what happens. No. Track your money. Track where it's going. Track what's coming in. You need to see it. You need to see it.
See it to believe it.
Yes. And I'm going to keep saying that you have to have it visual for it to have the impact you need it to have. Okay.
What do you say? You visual, and some people just not visual. There may be just a virtual world. Like I don't want a vision board. I don't want to do what's it going to do. So not everybody's visual. Some people may be just like have it in the palm of their hand.
I mean, if they can have it, if they can have an app, an app, or if you just like a pen and paper, like I said, you can go that basic.
Right.
It's all sorts of things that you can do to a ledger book. Some people ledger books. That's old school, but
I think I still had ours from way back when.
Yeah.
What she's trying to say is like, you need to be able to look at what you're doing.
Yes.
Don't keep it captured in you,
Yeah.
especially if you're in a relationship with your partner. It's best that you both understand what you're getting into. And then I think another thing is the big decision thing, the big ticket items this year. You know, decide on what you. I mean, do it now. What you want to do? Hey, we need a new car. Don't wait till you need one. Get it before,
Right.
because then
Right.
you're in the bind. What are you guys going to spend money on this year? You're going to fix the house this year. We're going to buy a new car this year. We're going to travel this year. We're going to celebrate our anniversary and get rings and those other things. I
You got
mean,
graduations coming
yes,
up. Get ready for all of that
yep,
now.
yeah, and one thing I always do for graduation. Our kids are grown and gone, right? I always set a budget on how much money I'm going to give for other people's graduation. So, and I'm like, this is our number that we're targeting. So we give it out accordingly. And then typically the last person probably get the most, because whatever's left over we give them, and we may go a little bit, but just because we want to make sure we want to get somebody $10. It's like, ooh, we only got $25 left, so let's go and give them a little bit more. But at least I have that already set aside to give away to graduations and people because in our church there's a lot of kids graduating, so you want to make sure you honor those. And then there's birthdays and parties and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that, so you want to make sure you take care of those kind of things. We have a goddaughter, so we want to make sure we take care of her every year. Take her because she like to shop. she like to shop.
She only
Yeah,
six,
she
but
only
she
sick.
loves
Yeah,
shopping.
yeah. Shop, 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 shop. She loves to shop. So when she comes here, we like, let's go to the store and get you something nice to have. And we know she has brothers and a sister, so we make sure we try also to take care of them during Christmas time. It ain't just one person getting stuff. We also share things with them by getting them things too. But what do? We plan for that every year.
Mm-hmm.
Even with the boys, our boys are older. We still plan for that every year to give them a little something. But what do you keep hearing? What do you keep hearing? What's the key word you keep hearing?
Plan,
That's
plan,
it.
plan,
It ain't
plan.
just popped up. Oh, somebody had a birthday this week. Oh, that was my daughter. What? You didn't know about your daughter? Oh my gosh. You know about these things.
Mm-hmm.
And there are multiple things. Our church have so many events. You almost need a budget just for the events at our church. So you got to pick and choose those things too, because you can't attend everything because you can spend a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to pick and choose those type of events. But you want to have a budget for like entertainment also,
Mm-hmm.
football games, those kind of things. Going to the movies, going out to eat. That's money.
Right. And a lot of people think their financial plan can't include those things. Your financial plan is what you make it.
Yep.
If you like to do those
Yeah.
things,
Yep.
include it in your plan.
What I
You
would.
may not do it all the
There you
time,
go.
like,
There you go.
but that is still in there.
Put money in
Say,
there
so if you
routinely.
like to go out to dinner every Friday evening,
Mm-hmm.
then hey, put it in there,
Yep.
but you can only go twice a month instead
Mm-hmm.
of 4 times a month.
Yep.
You're still going, you're
Yep.
just not going as much. So your financial plan is what you make it. A lot of people think you have to cut out living.
Mm-hmm.
No, you don't.
Yep.
You just cut back on some things.
Yep. That's it.
You just cut back. And I have a statistic. They say writing down your goals can increase your chance to achieving them by up to 42%.
Mm. So you're saying I just can't do it with my eyes closed and just figure things out,
Because you're going to forget things. You're going to forget this bill. Oh, I forgot I needed tires. Oh, I forgot I had to have the car inspected.
That's funny you
Oh,
should
I
say that.
forgot I had to go get eyeglasses. You have
That's
to
funny you
write
should
it
say that.
down and include it. And just because you wrote it down once don't mean it's not going to change. You make the adjustments. That means you
Yeah.
have to sit down at least once a week and just look at where you are in your financial plan and what's coming up. And you make those adjustments because we still adjust our plan. We have a plan and it still has to be adjusted on a regular basis because things come up. Prices change, inflation. You have to make the adjustment.
Let me make this comment before we wrap things up here. So you just said something, man. What was my thought? Boy, I tell you, I'm getting young every day. When I play it back, I'm like, oh, that's my thought right there on tape.
See, that's why you say write it down. He done forgot.
No, you had said something, and I'm like, oh, I want to comment on that.
Oh, about 40. Write it down and it's
Yeah, I'll play it back. You get it in part two. You get it in part two.
No, you won't. Look,
no, because when
I just said out of sight, out of mind.
No,
he should have wrote it down.
You said something. I was like, oh yeah. Oh, I know what it was. You said, I'm trying to pull it out the rabbit out of the hat. You was saying, oh, I can't keep going. I can't
Okay.
think of it.
All right.
I almost had it. I almost had it. It was like the tip of my tongue.
And live a balanced life.
Hmm.
I have people that save, and don't live. You got
Hmm.
people that spend, and they in trouble.
Yeah.
Try to figure balance.
Yeah.
Have a balanced life. A balanced life is a happy life.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't go off the rails one way or the other.
Talk about it.
Balance it out. Find that sweet spot for you. No one can tell you what that is, but you and your family, you find it for yourself.
Hmm.
You can't use somebody else's plan. You gotta come up with your own plan.
Yeah.
Everybody's plan is different. It's based, and matter of fact, everybody's plan can change from week to week.
Yeah.
So that means you have to stay engaged. You have to be aware of what's going on with your finances at all times, so you can achieve your goals. Because you do want to have a retirement plan.
Mhm.
You may want to leave a legacy, a financial legacy
You
for your.
should leave one. Not may.
Yes,
You
you
should.
should for your kids,
All right.
and start teaching your kids now,
Yeah. Yeah.
so they already have that mind
Yeah.
to live debt free. They already have that mind to be good stewards of all that they've been given. Okay.
All right. I'm gonna listen to definitely the last 5 minutes of this podcast and write that thing down because I'm like, it is bugging me what was on my mind. I'm like, oh, I want to say this
Write
here,
it down,
but
make it
but
plain.
but you was talking good.
Write it
I ain't want
down,
to cut
make
you
it
off. I was
plain.
going ooh 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 like Horseshack and
Yeah, I got
like
my
Horseshack.
stuff written down.
Yeah, I told you is what you said, so I couldn't write it down.
I got my
I
stuff
had
written
it. Yeah, I got mine written down too. Listen, y'all can find us, our podcast at our website. It's giftedgenerations-llc.com/podcast. You also can find us on Facebook and at Gifted Gen LLC. You can get us on Instagram. It's at gift.gen and also YouTube. Just YouTube Gifted Generations LLC. We're also on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and our radio under Financeology 101. And our Twitter handle is at GiftedGen 2019. 2019 is because that's the year we started. Name some arbitrary number. Honey, you want to have the last few words while I'm still trying to pull this thing out of my head?
So once again, thank you for listening, and again, Happy New Year, 2025. We're gonna let me check.
Year of expansion.
The year of expansion.
Yeah.
Year
Our
of
church
expansion is with our churches. That's the theme for this year for our church.
Mhm.
And we're going to thrive in 2025.
2025.
We're not just going to survive, we're going to thrive in 2025.
Amen, sister.
So be engaged in your financial planning.
All right.
All righty.
All
Have
right.
a good night, everyone.
Y'all
Thank
take
you.
care. Bye.
Well, thank you for tuning in to our podcast, Financeology 101. I hope you enjoyed this session and the information provided will assist you on your financial journey. Until next time, be financially engaged.